She never thought she'd say yes, not to him, not after everything. But as the fall dusk settled over the city like a curtain dropping on the last act of a badly written play, she stepped into the passenger seat of his old red Mustang, her heart pounding louder than the hum of the engine. 6 months ago, her husband's betrayal had come to her not with shouts, but silence. A lipstick stain not on his collar, but hidden deep in his phone, in text messages that read like half-buried tombs of desire, a string of lies that wrapped around her throat until she couldn't breathe. And even now, with the scent of betrayal still faint in her lungs, she didn't know whether she was running from something or to someone. He, the man behind the wheel, was her friend once, a colleague with eyes that lingered a little too long, voice smooth like whiskey over late deadlines. The one who noticed the change in her before she admitted it to herself. How she wore perfume less often. How her smiles became performances. How her wedding ring felt heavier each day. The date wasn't supposed to be a date. It was just drinks, then just dinner, then a slow walk through the amber-lit cemetery by the old church, where the tombstones leaned like crooked teeth. The kind of place teenagers used to dare each other to enter at night. The kind of place you don't visit unless you're looking to bury something or dig something up. And as they wandered past moss-covered names and forgotten promises, the air between them thickened, every word carrying weight, every glance a confession. They didn't say out loud, and when she asked him quietly, "Why now?" He didn't reach for her hand, didn't try to explain her husband's sins. He simply said, "Because you're finally ready to feel again." And somehow that was worse than anything else, because it was true. She was ready to feel something, even if it was wrong, even if it was fleeting, even if it left another scar in a body already mapped with emotional bruises. He looked at her like she was a story still worth reading, like the broken parts were where the light got in, and in the flickering glow of a street lamp, he leaned close, not quite kissing, not quite backing away. His breath warm against her cheek like a whisper from a dream she hadn't dared to have in years. And it wasn't about sex, not yet, not even fully about attraction. It was about being seen, fully, deeply, messily, without needing to explain or perform, about that aching space between isolation and possibility where broken people sometimes find the closest thing to truth. It was in the way his eyes didn't flinch when she talked about the affair, how her husband had blamed her, how he said she wasn't the same, how intimacy had become a task, a duty, a negotiation with no winners. And the cruelest part was that she believed him, believed she had become undesirable, unlovable, irrelevant until tonight, until this moment, where the heat between them wasn't dangerous, just human, raw, and trembling with restraint. And maybe that's why she let him walk her home, let him linger on the porch where the light bulb flickered, like it couldn't decide whether to expose or protect. And she didn't invite him in. God, she wanted to. The thought of his hands, his mouth, his certainty. But she wasn't ready to cross that line. Not yet, not tonight, because this wasn't about revenge or validation. This was about reclaiming herself, about giving her heart room to breathe again without needing to sacrifice her dignity to do it. And as he leaned in, not for a kiss, but to rest his forehead against hers, one breath shared between them like a sacred vow, she realized that healing wasn't always about solitude, that sometimes connection, even the almost kind, the near kind, was enough to restart something inside you. The Mustang's engine faded into the night as he drove away, and she stood there, watching him go, hand on the doorknob, pulse in her throat, knowing this was the beginning of something. Not a love story, maybe not even a second chance, but a return to herself. The first time in years she felt the heat of her own desire, not as something shameful or dangerous, but alive, pulsing beneath the surface like a buried current, waiting only for her permission to rise.